Hero here, one half of the Asti Sisters duo. Today I'm going to be doing a demonstration on our amazing Ultra V-line treatment available at AO Medical. Rachel and I provide excellent training for you guys. This video is one of the examples along with the complete written protocol. So today at our model, we're going to be doing a complete presentation here along with some of our favorite modalities to use with the treatment. So before we start, I want to mention that as with all of our protocols that Rachel and I come up with, you have a variety of modalities that you can use with the treatments. Typically, when we choose a modality, it's what's going to best go with that particular treatment. So for example, using cold plasma, we have our Dr. Platon device, or if you have the Tonisher device, you can go ahead and use the cold plasma application from that. One of the reasons we prefer to use cold plasma with our treatments is because of the increase in product penetration at the very minimum. However, cold plasma has in and of itself a really nice effect on lifting of the skin. So we love to use that with this particular treatment. Also, if you wanted to and you had it, you could go ahead and use the Time Master Pro because of the capabilities with the EMS. The electromuscle stimulation works deep in the muscles to create that lifting effect as well. So really you could actually go ahead and use 5-10 minutes of cold plasma, 5-10 minutes of your Time Master Pro. If you have a different device, you want to use it or not have that, it's okay as well. You can simply go ahead and just start the treatment from when we start the cleanse and then continue on, and you will still get great results. But as always, Rachel and I like to bring to you the treatments that give you the best results for your client. So first off, we're going to start our client with the cleanse. For today's purposes, we're going to be using our new HOP Volumizing Mousse Cleanser. This just came out this year. We happen to love it. We're going to do several pumps. I love to do several pumps in the hand. And then I just go and wet my right hand, and then I kind of massage it a little bit in my hands first, and then I apply it topically to the client's face and neck. And then we do a nice decadent cleanse. And this contains our polylactic acid, our growth factors. It's very gentle, suitable for all skin types. However, if you have a different cleanser that you would like to use, whether it's one that's more focused on hyperpigmentation or more sensitive skin, like our Dr. SD cleansing gel, you can go ahead and use that as well. I'm going to go just and add a little bit more here, just to show you that nice lather effect. Okay, once we've completed a nice cleanse, we're going to go ahead and remove with a warm towel or 4x4s with water. I would say that of all aspects of the treatment, the warm towels seem to be the client's favorite, along with the massage, of course. In these more extensive treatments, we typically don't do as much massage other than when the mask is on, doing a hand and arm massage or a scalp massage with the enzymes, simply because this is going to be a more targeted treatment as opposed to more of just a pampering facial. Although the clients do experience a lot of that pampering throughout the process with a lot of the hands-on work that we're doing. Okay, after you've done a great cleanse, we now are going to perform a few minutes of our Dr. Platon cold plasma. And again, you have options to using different modalities. This just happens to be one of my favorite for increasing product penetration and tightening. So with the cold plasma, you always want to use it on dry skin, clean, dry skin. So I'm going to start this. 5. If someone has more sensitive skin, you could start maybe with a level 3 or 4. Most of my clients are able to tolerate level 5. And they may feel a little bit of that shocking just because they're not expecting it, but it doesn't actually hurt the client. If I'm doing a 5-minute treatment, you're probably going to do just 3 passes. If I'm doing a full 10 minutes on the face, 5 minutes each side, I'm going to go ahead and do 5 passes each area. You will see that there is a timer on the wand, so you can kind of watch for the 5-minute mark or the 2.5-minute mark, whatever you prefer. If I'm really focused just on product penetration, a few minutes is fine. If I really want to assist with some lifting or somebody has glycated skin, I'm definitely going to do a longer treatment with the cold plasma. Another added benefit of the cold plasma and for our model here is she has a few little bumps. So if somebody did have a little bit of breakouts, cold plasma is awesome with its antibacterial effects, so it really will calm and help to minimize and heal the little acne breakouts that a client may have. The next step after you've completed your modality work, you're going to go ahead and use step 1 of the V-line treatment, which is our Pepita enzyme. It comes with the kit. The Pepita enzyme is actually an enzyme, so not a peel, and no acids, but it is derived from pumpkin, which has a little bit of more of a salicylic acid effect. So it is going to be a little bit stimulating. It is gentle, so I would say that if somebody didn't have aggravated rosacea, it would be fine. Otherwise, I would go ahead and say for acne clients, because again, salicylic works really great for oily acne prone skin as well. And just as a little tip, if you would like to kind of amp it up a little bit, you can go ahead and mix it with, make a cocktail with the HOP Pro Micro Peel. This would be for clients that have come to you before that do not have sensitive skin, more aging skin who would benefit from a little bit of the extra exfoliation, as well as the PLLA, which is the polylactic acid in here for plumping the skin. So for purposes of our treatment today, she's a younger client, we're gonna go ahead and just use the Pepita enzyme. I go ahead and use about a nickel size amount. I pump it into my hand, and then I'm going to lightly massage it into the skin. And this is going to stay on for about 10 or 15 minutes. If I was cocktailing it with a Pro Micro Peel, you can actually reduce the time down to about 5 minutes. So if you were somebody who wanted to speed up this facial process, it's about a 70-minute treatment in total, including some modality work. Coupling it with or combining it with the Pro Micro Peel would help you do that. Okay, so cleanse my fingers, and what I'm gonna go ahead and do is a light scalp massage for my client. Typically I enjoy doing that just to give them a little bit of that extra pampering effect, because we don't do a separate massage portion of the advanced treatments. So I typically like to do a little bit of massage or extra pampering with either the exfoliation step or at the point where we have the mask on the skin. Okay, after 10 to 15 minutes, we're gonna remove the Pepita enzyme. It's okay to have a warm towel. And always make sure you shake off your hot towels when they come out of the cavity, especially if they've been in there all day. They can get pretty hot. I love this facial because it's very simple but effective. The client will see immediate results with the slimming of the jaw area and the lifting at the end of the treatment. And we'll talk in a little bit when I do the application of the actual ampule, what in it actually causes the lifting effect. So right now we are going to go ahead and grab the V-line ampule that contains the PVP and the ferment in here with the black yeast that actually creates the cross polymers to create a strengthening and a lifting in the skin, as well as a whitening effect, a brightening effect. So it has a lot of other anti-aging benefits other than just the V-line effect. So right now I'm going to go ahead and remove the cap of the ampule here. Pull this off. And this particular ampule is a little bit harder to remove, so sometimes I will go ahead and use a scissors if necessary. Right now I'm lucky that it actually is removing pretty easily. Got this little piece here. So I went ahead and used my scissors just to lift up the end of the cap here. You pull this off. Now, I'm gonna give you a little tip. It does come with these amazing applicators. However, to speed up the process, typically what I do is I just pour from here on the skin. But for purposes of our demonstration today, and just to show you what most of you are going to be doing, you're going to be applying the applicator like this. Same applicator that we go ahead and use with the needle-free filler facial as well. Okay, so we are going to start with one side of the face, and I'll tell you something that's maybe a little bit different from what a lot of people do, is that I like to go and apply a thin film over the entire face. And then I go back and add more product, and I use my silicone brush that comes with the kit to create and hold and create that lifting effect. So for purposes right now, we're gonna go ahead and show you what it's like to just add that thin layer on the skin. So I'm still using my brush, but I'm not gonna hold yet. And that's because it takes a while for this ampule to actually dry on the skin. So if I waited and just did each part by itself, like started with one side and tried to hold, it would take a long time to do that. So I like the first part to start the setting up process before I go and do the holding effect. So I am gonna do the neck as well. And it looks like you may not have enough product, but you actually do end up having plenty of product to do the full face and neck. So again, this is just a light layer to start that drying process. And then we're gonna, and when you're using these ampules with these applicators, you wanna make sure that the product fills into the neck of the tube. And then we go ahead and apply it. So this can be a quicker process. Otherwise, it's gonna take a long time. This does need to be on the skin for about 15 minutes. So if you can do a quicker application, it'll save you time there. And then under the chin, just so I can, because I'm not necessarily seeing where it's going, I can put a little bit on the brush like that. And then in a second, I'm going to show you where the magic comes in. And that is where we do what we call our lift and hold. Actually, apply, lift, and hold. APH. Okay, here we go. We're going to go back to the first side now. And I'm going to work focusing really along the jawline here. So I'm going to add product. And I'm just going to put it in like that in the skin. And then I'm going to slowly pull and lift in an upward motion. And when I get to the top here, I am going to hold. So the cross polymers, the polypolymers that are going to be created with that black yeast ferment and the PVP, it is actually going to encourage the lifting of the jawline and the skin upward. So that's all. And oftentimes when you start to see the drying process, you'll see that when I release, you'll notice that the skin is lifted in the direction that I want it to go in. So that's what I do. So now I'm going to add another layer and keep working my way up. So I first, just smooth it out here. And then I'm going to gently glide and work my way up. And then I'm going to hold. When this completely dries, which you'll see after a few minutes, it's going to tighten, and look like almost like a little glass mask on the skin. So I'm holding, and again, I'm pushing not too hard to hurt the skin, but I'm definitely pushing kind of deep to push that product in, and I'm creating that lifting effect at the same time and going in that upward movement. So you'll get an actual better lift when it is pulled and it dries and it stays in that uplifted position. And like I said, if I just show you once I take this off, the difference between her right side and her left side, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you look here, we have a nice lift effect here already, just compared to the side that we just applied it simply without doing that extra lift, pull, and hold. Okay, we're going to continue on the cheek, up further up, and now come up to the temple, and I'm just going to hold. Okay, and then when I work on the forehead, you can get this in by the eyebrow, and I kind of brush stroke up, get it into the eyebrow. It will come off nicely later. And then I do a pull and a lift and a hold to get a nice eyebrow lift as well. And again, because you let the first layer kind of dry a little bit by applying that first, it doesn't take as long to set up. So I'm still moving, pulling slowly in this upward motion, creating that lifting effect while it's drying. And if someone had really lax skin, you can also do some holding or lifting with like your thumb. So you've got the scalp pulled back a little bit as well. And again, anything that's going to encourage the lifting during that drying process is going to be great. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Make sure you get the 11 lines. She doesn't have any, but if somebody did, you definitely want to work and push a little bit harder in that area as well. Okay, we're going to continue. And you can tell that it's already starting to dry because we did that first patch, so definitely make sure you put enough on after here. Okay, and then we're going to work with the temple. Make sure those little crow's feet, if they have any, pulling and lifting up as well. Yeah, always make sure that when you are applying product to the client's face or touching with the brush that you're holding this, either the scalp, the hairline, unless you're going to let the client know that you're coming forward, just so they aren't shocked that you all of a sudden touch them. So I would say it takes anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes to do the application. Again, you can go as slow or as fast as you want. I feel that if I can get that really nice lifting effect here, it's gonna significantly improve the results that we're gonna get. That nice V-line effect. And again, like with our needle-free filler facial, the V-line facial with this black yeast ferment is really great for also lightening and brightening of the skin. So usually you get a nice brightening effect as well as the lifting effect. You can already see that it's drying here. So again, it's drying here. So it's really nice to just add that extra layer here. And so the second layer isn't going to take as long to harden here. So I've got a nice pressure, as you can see. As you can see some product that's kind of going on the outsides of the silicone brush here. And then I just hold. Okay, and then we're going to get along with the jawline. And again, just hold the contents here. You'll see that there's actually quite a bit left still, so it's a nice amount. So even though you might be afraid that you're going to use it up, you end up with plenty to do the two passes. So right now I'm just blending it in. Make sure you get under the chin area there. Now go pretty tight here. And we're really working that jawline. Create that nice lifting and tightening effect. And you'll notice that I'm pushing kind of hard, not super hard, but enough pressure. And then I'm creating that lifting effect here, that nice V-line effect while it's drying. And then hold. And then just pause. It's very relaxing actually to even perform this treatment. Okay, and then we're gonna go kind of add the little bit remainder that's left. If there's an area that needs a little bit extra attention and you have a few drops left, you can definitely go ahead and, you know, apply that along the brow line. I'm gonna go over here by the lips. Works really nicely on the little lip furrows. So I'm just gonna blend that in. And then on the chin. And we're almost done here. And if somebody had like nice deep labial folds, you can also go ahead and make sure you hold them as well. So you're filling in and lifting. Okay. Okay. All right, so now you're gonna leave this on for, I would say 10 more minutes or until it's completely dry, because you've already taken a good 5 minutes to apply the product. If you want to speed up the process of drying, you can take a fan, you can take, you know, a thicker card, something like that, and gently fan. You can already see that it's creating this tightening and puckering kind of effect. So that's what it will do. And it'll feel very drying on the skin for the clients. You want to let them know this will feel pretty tight. And that means it's working. Okay, the next step after the face is completely dry, you can see, I kind of touch and tap just to make sure everything looks and feels dry. Then I go ahead and you are going to be applying about a quarter size amount of the 24 karat active gold collagen gel. Now a little tip, this is much larger than the Enzyme Pepita product that comes in the kit. So oftentimes when you do these regularly, these facials, you'll have a lot of the collagen gold gel left over. So I take these tubes and I use these as the conductor with my Time Master Pro, for example, and I'll mix a little bit with the collagen promoter gel to give the PLLA in there. So these never go to waste. And you can see that they have beautiful gold flakes inside. So very healing, antibacterial, and really great for the anti-aging brightening effect. So I'm gonna go ahead, like I mentioned, and pump about a quarter size amount into my hands here. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to be gently applying topically to really break down the product underneath. And something that is a little unique to our protocol is that we go ahead and once we break down the product underneath, meaning the ampule, the firming ampule, we leave this on underneath the 24 karat Revital Gold mask because I feel that this has so much amazing product in here, both the ampule and the collagen gel, that we love to leave this on maximum amount of time. So we do keep it on underneath the modeling mask. Okay, so once you feel that it's all broken down and you can kind of just massage in, so anything that would be caught kind of in the hairline or in the eyebrows, you just kind of massage until it breaks down. And you can feel that with your hands, with your fingers. Okay, so we're now going to go ahead and we're going to apply the rest here. All right. So once you can feel it completely broken down, meaning there's no hard pieces or any dry patches, everything is smooth, and that's through just your basic few-minute massage there, we are going to keep this product on, and we are going to then go ahead and prepare our modeling mask. Our favorite mask that we love to use with this treatment is the Revital Gold Mask by Skin Culture. There is a gold mask by Skinbolic that's great as well, but this is the one that we're going to be using for today's purposes and that we use in the treatment room. So I'm going to go ahead and just wet my hands with some water here to take off all that sticky product. Okay, so a little tip when working with a modeling mask for ease of removal and actually ease of application is you can get these amazing gauze masks. And I apply one level down, and you can use ones that are full face sheet mask. You know, there's lots of options on the internet, and they're very inexpensive. Sometimes they're, you know, you've used them for high frequency masks, for example. And you just apply this, and then we're gonna work on preparing modeling mask. So I have poured in about 6 scoops, and these are 5 ml scoops. And you probably have scoops from other masks, other products that you've worked with. This one happens to be from the Milk White Therapy Kit. So I have 6 scoops in here. And then usually you apply or add in about equal parts water. So this is what I like to do though. I like to go ahead and start. And I just start the breakdown process because all modeling masks are a little bit different. So some might use a little bit more water, some might use a little bit less water. So I actually measured out in another bowl the equal parts, so 6 scoops of water, but you can see that this is actually setting up really nicely without actually using this full amount of water. So I'd probably say I'm at about 2/3 water to the amount of product. So as long as you get this really nice consistency, and you want it to be more of kind of a frosting effect, and then you make sure that you mix it up for maybe about a minute or so, just so it gets this nice kind of gel consistency. Okay, and then once we've done that, we are going to start with our application on the forehead, and it's literally like frosting a cake. And by having that sheet mask on here, or the gauze mask, it makes the application just so much easier. Great for those of you who like to do Instagram, reels, things like that. And great for ease of removal, because one of the things that can be a pain with these modeling masks sometimes is you have a lot of little extra pieces that are left on, and you want to really minimize the amount of time in the treatment room. So anything that you could shave off a minute or two is going to be a really great benefit. So the advantage of putting on this modeling mask and it being a gold modeling mask is that it does have the anti-aging brightening effects and lifting effects as well, is that the modeling mask is going to act as kind of an occlusive mask to additionally penetrate that gold ampule and the lifting ampule that we kept underneath. So again, some people might have seen that you can remove that before you go ahead and apply this mask. But to me, if I can keep this on, that product underneath, for an extra 15 minutes, it's just going to add that extra benefit to the overall treatment and result. And the mask does get through, so it will definitely make contact with the skin through the mesh, but it is going to kind of seal around the fibers. So again, it's going to be really easy to remove. And so it's really fun. It is like frosting a cake. And there are different spatulas that you can get also for application, like silicone spatulas. I just happen to use a tongue depressor, which works equally well. Now, sometimes people cover people's mouths or eyes. Lately, I've been kind of avoiding covering eyes just because a lot of people can feel a little bit claustrophobic. If you want to cover the mouth, simply ask the client if they're okay with that ahead of time versus making that assumption that they're going to be okay with going, fully occlusive. Are you okay with me covering your mouth? Okay, it might give a little extra plumping to the lips. So we're gonna go ahead and apply a little bit here. Yeah, so this particular mask, what I love about it, again, is a lot of the gold that's in here. So this, again, gold has amazing healing and brightening properties. So that is why we continued with the gold mask here, because the treatment has gold in the enzyme powder, and it also has it in the collagen gold enzyme, collagen gold gel as well. So we're just carrying along with that same theme. So you can already see that this is setting up really, really nicely. And a lot of masks don't do that, but this one definitely is really easy as far as setup. So this now, if you end up purchasing the full kit with the DEW-AMOR jojoba, because there is a part of the facial, I happen to skip it, but you can go ahead and definitely, if you get the DA jojoba gel, you can do a nice facial massage with this treatment. I prefer to take my time and spend it doing modality work, But if you want to follow that protocol and buy that full kit, it now comes with the gold modeling mask, which is this one that we really love. So now, just as an extra little tip to further increase ease of removal, we go ahead and put one more piece right on top, and it doesn't have to be exact. You just lay this on, press it down, and so it's going to be super easy when you get to the point where we're going to do the removal, and it doesn't have to line up all the way. So you just press it in, and then we're going to leave this on for about 15 minutes. At this point, you can go ahead and do a hand and arm massage or a foot massage, and then we'll come back for removal. After 15 minutes, we're going to go ahead and gently remove this mask, and we're going to start with the neck area, and you're going to see how easily the mask removes because we had laid down the gauze. So you kind of lift along the edges. So you can see that there is very little residue left. And so we're going to go ahead, pick off the little remaining pieces, and we're going to also go ahead and use a warm towel to remove the rest of the product that's underneath. But the skin looks extremely hydrated and lifted. I'm going to shake out my warm towel just to make sure it's not too hot. See that steam? Right now I'm removing the mask, but underneath the mask we had the Ampule and then the gold collagen gel on top. So we're going to remove all of that. And because you already broke down the product underneath the Ampule, it's very easy to remove. And then there's always just a teeny little bit around the hairline because the mask is only so large. One of the questions that we get asked most frequently is how long will the results last from this treatment? And what I say is it depends on a few factors. It depends on if the client's using home care. So we definitely think that adding the Hevatox pads, the exfoliating pads, as well as the gold Ampule, which in and of themselves are going to increase firming, tightening, and lifting of the skin. That's going to be an added benefit to not only extend the results of the treatment, but create additional long-lasting tightening and lifting as well. The other thing is that when I'm typically working with clients and I'm doing treatments, I'm doing treatments every 2 weeks to build. After the building process, I then have the client come in monthly for maintenance mode. So really, I'm expecting to see results last at least 2 weeks. And then if I'm using modalities, they're going to be building if a client comes in 2 weeks apart. And then after maybe about 4 treatments or so, or 2 months, a client tends to come in for maintenance monthly. Also, this is a facial treatment that we recommend alternating with the needle-free filler facial, which is our Ampule mask treatment by HOP, because typically when you have a client dealing with aging issues, we have the need for lifting and tightening as well as volume and plumping, right, needed. So they dovetail really nicely together. So again, 2 weeks, I might do today the V-line treatment, and then 2 weeks later, I'll do the needle-free filler facial, and then 2 weeks after that, follow up with the V-line. Okay, so right now what we're going to go ahead and add, this is going to be a little bit of deviation from our original protocol because we didn't have the Hevatox Ampule prior. This is the Hevatox Gold Ampule. I'm going to take about a pea-sized amount out. And the reason we're going to be using this now is because this will create a tightening and a lifting effect, plus it has that gold in here. So you see a nice theme with gold being used throughout this treatment. And we're going to apply that especially down at the jaw area, because we want to, again, keep encouraging that tightening effect and that lifting effect. And the topical neurotoxin that is in the Hevatox will do just that. Yep, and the gold, if you massage it in, will break down in the skin. But I am gonna go ahead and add some of our infamous HOP Promoter Repair Cell Moisturizer. And this will help to further break down any of the gold flakes that you have. So I'm applying a good pea and a half sized amount here to my fingers. And then I'm going to, and you can see that nice natto gum and snail mucin, which creates that really nice stretchy effect. But natto gum is actually 5 times more binding to water than hyaluronic acid, so it's going to be very hydrating for the skin. Another thing that would go nicely with this treatment, if you wanted to, is after you've completed the enzyme portion, you could do one pass of the Hevatox exfoliating pads as well to again add more of that topical neurotoxin into the skin. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and apply a little bit of the Hevatox Gold Eye Lift, because again, this treatment is all about lifting. So the Gold Eye Lift Cream has so many amazing products, ingredients in here. We have our gold, we have our topical neurotoxin, we have our retinaldehyde, we have our biquinone, we have our caffeine and coffee bean extract. So we have ingredients in here to help depuff, tighten, and lift and brighten the skin. We also have our snow mushroom in here, which is a natural form of kojic acid. So this eye lift cream, we actually have probably 30 amazing ingredients in here, and it's really hard to pick just the top ones. But this is going to go really well with this particular facial. And also, if there was a client that was dealing with 11 lines, I always love to apply a little bit to the 11 lines as well. Okay, and then we're going to finish up with our all mineral SPF 50 sunscreen from TOV Medical, which is HOP in the HOP line. So this also includes the polylactic acid and the growth factors. So again, this is going to be an overall really amazing anti-aging treatment. Okay, and you just need a little bit. So I like to apply to a few little spots on the skin first. Okay. And even though you don't do a lot of massage in this particular treatment or a lot of our advanced treatments, when you're applying your products, you just take the extra minute for a nice application, and the client does feel really pampered and feels like they're getting that extra little facial massage. Now, the reason we can apply the SPF 50 around the eyes is because an all mineral sunscreen is not going to burn and sting the eyes. So typically when a client does not use sunscreen around the eye area, it's because it's a chemical sunscreen, and chemical sunscreens often burn the eyes. So people avoid using the sunscreen around the eyes. And that is one of the areas that most need sunscreen because of the thin skin and its tendency to produce hyperpigmentation and wrinkling. So you can see how if you apply a minimal amount, just the amount that you need, that you are gonna see that it blends in very nicely. And this particular sunscreen is great through a Fitzpatrick 5. If you find that you actually are getting too much of a white cast, it's because you've either put too much on, or once a product, if you've done a facial that say has a lot of product on, like the needle-free filler facial, a little less is more, because there's just not a lot of ability by the skin to absorb more of the product because there's so many layers on the skin. But this particular treatment, most of the product is absorbed into the skin very well, so you'll notice that there's very little white cast left on the skin. So this is when you would go ahead now and take your second photo, which is your after photo. And these are the best-selling parts of the facial, is actually showing the clients post-treatment the before and after pictures with each session. And then if you guys have an app like Canva, for example, to eventually have the first picture, the second picture, and then as you create ongoing treatments, you will show them the improvement with each facial. So let's say you did 4 treatments. Your first picture is going to show starting off, 2 months prior. And then the last picture is going to be after the 4th treatment. So they're going to get to see all that amazing results, how it's built, and then you can see how the client would want to keep coming back to maintain the great results they've got. For more information on this facial, this protocol, or any of our other treatments, please reach out to Rachel and myself on Instagram at the SD Sisters. You can also reach out to us on email at sdsisters.aomedusa@gmail.com. And you can reach us by phone as well at 414-469-7260. We would be happy to get on a call with you guys and talk to you about your needs and how this particular facial, as well as the others, can help benefit your business and help take your clients to the next level. Follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel.